Hello, hello, and welcome to the second half of season 5. I can't believe that we're already halfway through the year. My name is Debbie Heiser. I help entrepreneurs make a lot of money doing what they love without sacrificing what's important to them. I feel an urgency to help people let go of past messaging so that they can lead a lit up life. And with that, I want to again welcome you. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the show.
Straight from the corners of my mind is where I find my sanity. It's a place, another land, another.
Hello there. Before we get started with this week's episode, I wanted to pop in here just really quickly and offer up to you 2 different ways that you can work with me. I have private clients that I work with throughout the year to help them quantum leap their business, identify what they want their life to look like so that the business becomes a conduit to that versus running their life. And then the second one is a women's mastermind. This is the second one to kick off, and I'm so excited to start this one in 2024. And I believe the retreat is going to be potentially in Belize, but keep an eye out for it. But this is where we get together, again, quantum leap your business, but it's with a group of other really high vibrational, successful business women that want to level up, want to continue to progress in their achievements and in their business. So with that, click away on the website and check out those exciting events. I'd love to either see you as a private client or in the 2024 Women's Mastermind. Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Lead Your Life with Debbie Heiser. I am excited to be here with you today. I'm doing things a little differently. This is January 2nd. So you would think I would be kicking off the next season, season 6. However, before we kick that off, I wanted to take a moment with all of you and do a few things. This is going to be probably a short and sweet podcast, but what I wanted us to do was really look back. And I'm not a big firm believer in living in the past, but I want us to look back because it's important to reflect. And I don't mean to just reflect, and some people will reflect on things that went wrong. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is doing a reflection and saying, what happened over this last year? Who was I being? And what did I do? So part of my exercise at the end of the year, first of the year, is to go back and look at, and I go through my calendar and kind of start to look at, okay, what happened in January? Where was I at? Where did I travel? I started out my year with my mastermind folks. And I know I use that word mastermind a lot for a lot of different things. So this is the group of women that I went to Paris with in 2021, I believe. Who knows? I think it was 2022. See, I'm really bad at like remembering what years certain things are on. But anyway, these women, we have become like a sisterhood, and we still travel 3 times a year, and we get together twice a month for 2 hours to mastermind. And it's gone through an iteration of different things that we do, but it's an important group of people. And we spent about, I think it was 4 or 5 days at the Savannah Wellness Spa. And I love the name of this, Carefree, Arizona. We did a horseback trail, which it had been a long time since I had been on a horse. And I had lots of lessons that I think I shared at the beginning of the year about that trip and that experience. And then as the year went on, I had other travel. I was working for my coach, coaching, which really helped me level up what I do in my work and really helped me get really crystal clear about what I wanted to do going forward. And then in March, I'm sure I traveled some more because that seems to be what I do. And I love to travel. But as time went on and as the summer went through, I celebrated my grandson's, would have been his 2nd birthday this year, and watched my son continue to fall in love with his new career as a teacher, an 8th grade science teacher. Watched my daughter-in-law be just this fantastic mom. And I'm sharing a few things with you in reflection of my year. And I'm going to share a couple of more because I want you to get an idea of what I'm looking for. It's not the task list, right? There are some of those things. Like I did a May retreat that was awesome. And we did it for the first time in a different location. I had a different content. It was geared towards a different group of business people. And then I did a fantastic retreat in October, which I'm going to continue to do as an annual retreat in Sandpoint that includes business women. We stay at this luxurious place and it's just fantastic. And so then some other things I did in my business was I hired what I call my chief marketing officer and chief operations officer. I have a unicorn here, Meredith, that she has an operational brain, but has grown up in marketing, is brilliant at marketing. And so she has really helped me level up. And since July, wow, it was a little dense, but we did a lot of stuff. We moved everything over from one platform to another. And this platform is more than what I need right now, but is going to be exactly what I need in 3 years. And we're already growing into that and probably sooner than 3 years. We've rebranded. So now the company name is called The Lit Up Life, and it's a whole different brand. We'll continue to do Lead Your Life with Debbie Heiser as this podcast, but we've shifted the company. I've shifted the model. I implemented masterminds for the first time. They are year-long programs that include 2 retreats. This year we did Mexico, and we're going to do Costa Rica in April of 2024. The next mastermind starts in April, and we're going to be in the Dominican Republic. And then we will be hopefully in Belize, is where I'm looking at. So a way that I've incorporated and lead my lit up life is loving to travel. I'm incorporating travel into what I do. So we kicked off the mastermind. I went with my mastermind with my Paris gals, is what I'm going to call them, to Santa Monica. We got coached by Peter Crone, who calls himself the mind architect, and he is a mind architect. That man has a gift that he can quickly dig in based on the linguistic environment of what you're saying into what are blocks that are holding you back. I had a block that I've had for, well, the age that I am, minus 5 years, I've had this block for so long, and I was finally able to let go of it. And that has changed the trajectory of my business. I am now like writing content like crazy, creating things. We're creating the Lit Up Life method, all sorts of different things that now I can claim as my own, where before I didn't feel like I could claim it as my own. I unlocked some things about relationships. So I'm actually open to start dating again, which those of you that are listening to my podcast may or may not care, but like there's things in my life that I'm showing up different. I went to a collective that is all about integration of the masculine and feminine energies. Now, I'm not talking gender here, but the energies, and taking those energies and being open to abundance everywhere. Like I had never really thought about if a flight got delayed. I'm just like, okay, it doesn't really bug me. And if I miss a connection, you figure it out, right? But this whole new way of looking at that, it's an abundance of time that now I could work on a project or I could start up conversations with other people, excuse me, and looking at abundance in a completely different way. So I would just challenge each of you to go back. Well, I'm going to back up because I have a couple other things I want to share with you. So also, when you're a mom of an only child and a mom of a boy, and I am typecasting here, so I know not all people are this way. I love my son dearly, and boys typically just don't communicate as much as women do, right? Like it just, I'm gross overgeneralizing here, and I don't like that about what I'm saying. But it's really been about trying to maneuver and figure out this new relationship that I have with my son and my daughter-in-law and my grandson, where they're their own separate family unit, and that I'm my separate family unit, and that working through core wounds and all of those things and showing up, just loving them for who they are. And it reminds me at one time, in the relationship that I had with my dad, it was a little tenuous at times after my mom passed, and realizing that I was expecting him to show up and love me unconditionally, but I wasn't willing to do the same. So I'm going to say that again, because we can't expect, I'm going to use a double negative here. We can't expect other people to give us what we're not willing to give. So if I'm willing to give unconditional love, no matter what bothers me, no matter what like grates at me potentially, because, it's really hard to be as perfect as me. I say that in total jest because I'm totally judging right now, right? Because I know there's things about me that drive people crazy. But when I'm in that place, I have to step back and go, wait a minute, I'm asking him to show up and love me for who I am, warts and all. So I need to do the same. And so I'm finding I'm doing that more and more with my son and daughter-in-law and grandson. And our relationship, I feel like, is getting stronger and stronger. And it's just fun. So those things, along with the monetary pieces, I did meet my monetary goal already for, well, I guess this is January 2nd, but it's really mid-December when I'm taping this. But, and I'm going to stop saying taping. I feel like I'm in the 80s. I'm recording a podcast, so you can laugh at me there. But anyway, like going through these changes, both personally and professionally, I feel like I've been connecting more with my sisters. There was a dense period of time over the last probably year that I let a few things go and I wasn't walking my talk and I was sacrificing some relationships that were really important to me. And it wasn't intentional, but it was happening. So when I look at my year, I look at the things I've done, I look at who I've been, who I'm being, and how that's what the results of that have been. And so I recommend to you, instead of sitting down writing New Year's resolutions right away, go back and kind of look at all of the things. Now, key thing here is we tend to go into gap thinking and then think, oh yeah, but I want to be this much further along, or I should be this much further along. Don't do that to yourself. Stay in the game. As my Paris girls say, the Gap is only a clothing store. So don't go into that gap mindset. Look at all of the things that have happened over this last year for you. Some of you had really tough years. I had a loss just over Thanksgiving of a very dear aunt of mine. And, the loss, I felt it physically and felt heartbreak for my cousins and my dad who lost his sister. But I also know that that's not the end, at least my belief system. So I want you to look back on all of the things over the year and really like take a look at that and reflect on that. And the most important thing here that I want you to do is have gratitude about it. Then you can start to shift to 2024. And even though we're the second day into 2024, looking at what's the word that you want for your year. I've already talked about that. But what's the word you're picking? My word this year is integration. And it kind of formulates other things that are happening in my life. Excuse me. I just did a cleanse where I was doing nothing but drinking liquids, vegetable liquids. I feel fantastic. And I have a whole different, I feel like the Phoenix rising, like this healthy me is coming out. And, so this integration of health and activity into my day-to-day into my day-to-day, not just that it has to be an event that is there. Also looking at and integrating, because I'm a consummate learner. How do I continue to learn so that I can bring more relevant and interesting content to you? So, and learn myself, right? So looking into 2024, having a word, and then I just would caution about New Year's resolutions. Now, some people, this is a little controversial for them, but what I would say is look at kind of where you want to be next year when you're reflecting. Who do you want to be and what would you have liked to have accomplished? Then kind of take a look at that and look to see that you're not setting yourself up for failure before you begin. My ex-husband is a very wise man, and he once said to me when I had front to back, single spaced New Year's resolutions, he's like, you set yourself up to fail before you even begin. And that was a pattern that I had that I actually didn't uncover until later after that comment. So when you look into 2024, be present because that's the only place you can be. Look at things through the eyes of that you get to, you choose to, and you love to. And look at things in a frame of what you're doing and who you're being. Is it in congruency? Is it in alignment with your values and your true identity? Like, who are you? So moving into 2024, we have some exciting news here that we have rebranded the company, and you are going to see a new look and feel for the season 6. Gosh, I can't believe I've been doing this this will be the 6th year. So in the 6th year, you're going to see a new photo. You're going to see some new things out there. The show notes are going to be easier to read. We'll have potential bullet points of things out there. It's just going to have a new look and feel. We're still going to have some amazing guests. I can't wait for you to meet a few of them that I have in January. And then also in February, if you would also like to be a part of the podcast and be a guest on the podcast, please go out to the website. You can apply to be a guest on the podcast. And I can't wait to see you in 2024 season 6. So be on the lookout for a new look and feel. We'll also still post to the same places, so nothing like that is going to change. And I can't wait for 2024. See you then. Thanks so much for listening. The song Ride is co-written and sung by Miss Jackie Wilson and her collaborators Tyler Banks, David DJ Lee, and Chris Renee. And a huge shout out to them for allowing us to use this perfect song. Everyone have a fabulous week, and I'll talk to you next week.